Good afternoon. Hope you're having a great week. Welcome to the West Virginia Turnpike, it says. It is Monday, June 29th, 4:18 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, local time here in West Virginia. I'm on Interstate 77 northbound. It just turned into a toll road. I think that was mile marker, I don't know, 9.5. So I'm not very far into West Virginia. Did somebody just merge in right next to me going the exact same speed I am? I hope not. All right, we're starting to go uphill, and they're slowing down, so I think they're heavy. So we'll fly by them. Give me a second to get out of this left lane. I don't like being out here blocking traffic, but you know, I got people merging on next to me going pretty much same speed I am, jamming me out here, just hanging me in the left lane. It's really rude. Racetrack, use exit 14. Some racetrack around here. I just got passed by a red pickup that had Ford Racing all over it. Ford Racing service truck. It looks like we're about to start climbing up a mountain again. Getting a truck lane in 500 feet. I don't really want to move over into this right lane, but I'm getting passed by some fucking idiot. I don't want to move over because this lane doesn't last. Now the lane's ending. And this heavy, slow fucker is jamming into this lane. I need to get over, dumbass. Oh, my goodness. Aggressive driving assholes. I shouldn't have moved over. I got lucky that he moved over for me. I raised my arm up. I was like, are you going to fucking move over? And I think that's the only reason the asshole moved over for me. I think otherwise he would have just jammed me into the damn lane and run me into the shoulder. But I could tell that that was a short truck lane, and you should not be getting into the truck lane if you're empty like me. That truck lane is for slow vehicles. If you're climbing up the mountain at 60 miles an hour, you shouldn't be over in that damn truck lane. This jackass is driving like a maniac. All right, we got a lot to talk about. I've been recording pretty much my whole drive today. I've been driving for almost 6 hours. And the electrical cord came loose, and the phone, the battery drained on it, and the battery died, corrupted the video. So wiggled the cord, and now we're trying again. Whole bunch of drama happening today. I don't even, I haven't made a video in the last couple of days. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's happened over the last few days. So I delivered a load to Bridgestone in Trenton, South Carolina, right next to Graniteville. They didn't have it empty, so I drove a mile across the street, like a mile away, to Graniteville Bridgestone and checked them. They didn't have it empty. So I sent text messages to the TSD rep, Caitlin, said, you know, what trailer I dropped at Trenton, no empties, and no empties in Graniteville. And then I sent a text and said, I'm going to the truck stop. Please let me know what to do about the empty. And that was around midnight Saturday night. And then, I don't know, somewhere around 9, 10 a.m., 8 a.m., somewhere between like 8 and 10 a.m. Sunday morning, she sent me a text message and told me to go to Anderson, South Carolina to pick up an empty. They have an empty in Anderson. Which doesn't sound like a big deal, but because Anderson's like 100 miles north of Trenton, but it's like goat paths. It's shoulderless roads. 100 miles straight north on shoulderless roads. Or it's 160 miles if you take interstate. Well, at this point, whenever they told me to go to Anderson to pick up the empty, I'd been awake for, next rest area is in 29 miles. Let me think for a second. I'm 138. I'm a little over 2 hours away. And I have 2 hours and 17 minutes left until I have to take a 30-minute break. I would really like to make it there. All commercial vehicles next right when flashing. It's not flashing. Lion's Den Adult Superstore, exit 28. Pleasure, passion, romance. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of romance. Rest area and way station and a gas station. Is that where the strip club's at?
There are police reported ahead.
So I'd been awake for a long time at this point. I've been awake for like 20 hours or something. So I was like, you know what? I'll just go ahead and take my 10-hour break, or I'll just go ahead and take a break, and I'll get some sleep. And I'll do nighttime driving. So I woke up Sunday afternoon, like, I don't know, around 4 p.m., took a shower, ate, and I was just about to start driving. I had, like, started putting everything away in the truck and getting it ready to roll. And Caitlin, the TSD rep, texts me and asked me if I picked up that empty yet, and I said no.
I found a faster route, the I-77 North, which saves 33 minutes, but it has a toll of $8.79. If you prefer to stay on the current route, tap no thanks.
Anyway, Google just popped up with a reroute to take 77 North. I'm like, I'm already taking 77 North. What in the hell is Google doing? I hate it when Google starts changing the fucking route. Sorry for my language. While I'm driving. I wish Google had more options like stop rerouting me once I choose a route. Like, why even offer me all of the different route choices whenever I'm setting it up if you're just going to reroute me any damn time you want? Why did this truck move over to the center lane? All right, this person with this Premier rental trailer is an idiot, so got to keep an eye on him. Golden Trucking Incorporated. Oh, here's this dumbass B&B again. B&B is incredibly aggressive. When they're going downhill or on flat land, they're out here driving like 5 to 10 over the speed limit. But you get them on a hill and they're slow as shit. And they are really aggressive at passing, out here blocking the damn lanes and shit. Great, great, great. B&B's, I'm just stuck behind B&B because they have a second slow truck they're going to set out here and pass. So now I get to go at the speed of B&B because they're a special little fucking tulip. Out here just blocking the passing lane. I was doing 60, now I'm doing 45. If this jackass wasn't driving 5 to 10 over the speed limit whenever they weren't going uphill, we wouldn't be having these damn problems. It's like the third hill I've had to do this on with this jackass. We're up to 57. $58. And we're about to crest the hill. 59. This is crazy that in economy mode, it is allowing it to get this high RPM. Oh, it looks like we got another hill right after this one. Smells like bread. So anyway, right when I'm about to start driving Sunday afternoon, Caitlin texted me and she called me and asked me if I picked up the trailer yet in Anderson. I said no. I said I just took a shower. I just woke up. I just took a shower and I'm about to start driving. And she said, all right, I was just checking because that's a hot load. And I said, well, if that's a hot load, you might want to put somebody else on it because remember, I have to take a 34 after I pick the load up. She had completely forgotten that I had to take a 34. And she said, "You haven't taken a 34 yet?" And I said, "No." She said, "I thought you just took a 34." And I was like, "No, I just got here last night at around midnight whenever I sent you that text. I haven't been here long enough to do a 34. She's like, "Oh, well, let me check. Just hold off, wait, and let me check and see what we need to do." It's a bad spot to be broke down. So a couple hours, like 3 hours later, she texts me and asked me if I'm heading to pick up that empty, and I said, "No, I'm still sitting here waiting." And she said, "I haven't heard anything back." And she pasted in a text message that she sent to her boss that I'm just going to sit and take my, she asked me when my 34 would be up if I just stayed there. And I told her 9:30 a.m. Central tomorrow. And she said, and she sent a text to her boss saying that if I don't hear anything else, that I'm going to sit there and wait until my 34 is up at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. And then I'll head over and pick up the empty. And so 8 a.m. I didn't hear anything else. So 8 a.m. the next day. Damn it. Is that the sign that says the right lane ends? Yep. Here comes one of the slow fuckers I just passed. Out here doing 75, 80 miles an hour. Pay toll 2.5 miles. Cars $4.50. Easy pass all lanes. Yeah, here comes. I'm coasting down the hill at 70 miles an hour right now. The speed limit is 70. And this idiot that I just passed is flying by me doing about 80 miles an hour. And that is like the third time that person's passed me. Third or fourth time. I've been dealing with this person for a few hours. It's Esther hauling a Schneider trailer. And it's a really bad driver. Not last time, but one of the times that they passed me, they didn't know how fast to go once they got in front of me, and they just slowed way down. And then we started going uphill. There were signs indicating that there was a turn, but there were no suggested speeds. So they freaked out because they didn't have any trucks in front of them to like give them an idea of how fast to go. They freaked out and slowed way down right before we started going up a hill. So they basically just cut me off, brake checked me, and then started slowing way down going up the hill. That was one of the times they passed me. Son of a bitch. This is an actual toll plaza and people are coming to a fucking stop. $35-mile-per-hour speed limit ahead. Easy pass paid. Well, at least I know my toll transponder's working. Seven miles to Interstate 64. Hopefully traffic dies down at Interstate 64. Like every time we come across like an interstate or a town, I'm like, well, maybe this is where traffic's going to die down. But no, the whole fucking drive today has been this type of traffic right here. This is what I hate about driving over on the East Coast. It's like city driving everywhere. Everywhere you go, it's like city driving. The population density over in the eastern half of the country is just crazy. So around 8 a.m. this morning, I texted Caitlin and said, can you check on the empty trailers, see if they've got an empty here, and make sure they still have the empty in Anderson? And she said, sure. And then she texted me back like an hour or so later and said that there should be 2 empties in Graniteville. So I didn't have to drive all the way to Anderson. I went to Graniteville, which was like a mile away. It's Trenton and Graniteville. Those are the 2 Bridgestone plants there at that exit, and they're just like a mile apart. So I went over there, picked up an empty, and then took off driving. And then a couple of hours ago, after I've been driving for like 4 hours, Caitlin sent me a text message and said that they assigned my load. Well, this morning when I texted Caitlin, I asked if I'm still doing this load, and she said yes. They can't find anybody else to do it, so I'm going to have to do it. They weren't able. They looked for somebody else to take it on Sunday. They looked for somebody else to take it on Monday morning, and they couldn't find anybody else to take the load because she said that it's like a critical load because the Cooper plant and the Cooper Goodyear tire plant in Texarkana ran out of carbon black on Saturday or Sunday. They were out on Sunday, she told me. I don't know when exactly they ran out, but she told me on Sunday that they were out of carbon black. So, like, their production was down. I don't think they could make tires starting on Sunday. And I'm still like a full drive shift away from even picking the load up. Like, it's a 500-mile drive just to pick the load up for me. But they couldn't find anybody else that could take it. And then, so I went ahead and took off to go pick the load up. And then, a couple hours ago, I get a text from Caitlin telling me that they gave the load to somebody else. They found a team to take the load. So now I don't have a load. I'm headed to Ravenswood, West Virginia, and I don't have a load to pick up whenever I get there. But she told me that they're loading another trailer for me, and she doesn't know where it's going yet. It's either going to Union City, I don't know what state. There's a Union City in probably every state. Or it's going to Lawton, Oklahoma. Those are the 2 places they could possibly go. Union City or Lawton. And I still haven't heard back in the last couple of hours on where it's going. Now, here's another thing that happened. I made a decision over the weekend that I was going to stop running this contract. Because, well, that's something I can talk about at length on why I made that decision. Let's finish talking about what's going on, and then I'll talk about that. So I thought about it all weekend, and I finally came to the decision late Sunday evening. And I texted Tony, the Landstar agent, this morning, Monday, and told him to try to get me as close to the house as possible. I need to do extended home time, and I'm not going to be coming back to the contract. And I also said I'm not in a rush to get home, so they don't have to get me right home. Oh, buddy. They swung over toward me in that turn. All right, we're about to cross Interstate 64 in 2 miles. And we're going up yet another mountain. We are not driving over the Appalachian Mountains. We're driving up the Appalachian Mountains. Like, this whole fucking drive today has been the Appalachian Mountains. Just been up and down, all damn day. Great, yeah. Are you going 1/10 of a mile per hour faster than that other truck? So you're just going to pull out in front of somebody that's going like 10 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour faster than you? Thanks a lot, tanker. Really appreciate it.
There are police reported ahead.
All right, that was really weird. I just heard a loud squealing noise. Now it's completely gone. Is this jackass? All right, that lane's going exit only. Never mind. All right, I'm. This tanker is frustrating me because it's not maintaining speed and it's not getting over in the right lane. I'm just double checking all my gauges. All right, I'm going to pass this stupid son of a bitch on the right because they will not move over. Fucking idiot. All right, I'm listening for that squealing noise. Squealing noise is gone, but I'm watching all my gauges. I'm feeling the air conditioner temperature. I'm just checking everything. That squealing noise might not have even been my truck. Whenever I got really close to that tanker is when I heard it. I turned the volume down and I moved my headset off my ear to make sure it wasn't coming from the radio or the headset. I'm still listening. I can't hear any weird noises. Might have been coming from one of the other trucks. I was close to like two other trucks when I heard the noise. I was passing a truck and I was really close behind a truck. If I had to guess at what it sounded like, I would say it was like a high-pitched whine of a turbo. So it might have been the turbo of one of the trucks, like the one I was passing, maybe. So anyway, this morning I sent a text message to Tony telling him, you know, try to get me home when you can. I'm going to do some extended home time, so I'm not going to be coming back to the contract. And I'm not in a rush. It's not an emergency or anything like that. So you don't have to get me like straight to the house. And he messages me back and he said, are you going to come back to the contract when your home time is over, or are you done? And I said, done. So then, a few hours later, I sent that right before I started driving today. And then a few hours later, they pulled the load off of me and gave it to somebody else, a team. I don't think TSD has any or many teams. So left lane ends in 1 mile. What I think happened was Tony contacted Caitlin, told her that I was stopping the contract. Caitlin told her boss, and all of them got to talking. And Tony was probably asking if he could go ahead and bring on another driver right now. And they probably had the idea that, well, if you're bringing on another driver right now, see if you can find a team to pick up that Ravenwood load. So they probably all were powwowing, and they had this other issue that came up that they were dealing with this Ravenwood, this desperate load for Ravenwood that they're trying to get to the Cooper plant that's shut down. And they were like, well, go ahead and see if you can find a team to haul this load to Cooper Tire. So I'm suspecting that they posted the load on Landstar's load board, and they got a team to take that Ravenwood load. That would be my guess, because if they had a TSD team in that area, they were sitting there for like 2 days trying to figure out what to do with that load. They would have had plenty of time if they had a TSD team anywhere near there to have them go pick that load up. So yeah, I think they brought on a new Landstar driver to replace me, and it happened to be a team. And they're having them snag that Ravenwood load. And they said that they're going to load another trailer for me, but they don't know where it's going yet. They said it's either going to be going to Lawton, Oklahoma, or Union City. Let me see what state Union City is in. What the fuck? I turned my cruise on and the damn thing just shut right back off. Let's try it again. Wait, let me see. Union City, Tennessee. So, I'm either going to be going straight to the house, because if I get a load to Lawton, after I deliver in Lawton, I'm just going to bobtail to the house. Lawton is 90 miles from Oklahoma City. If I end up going to Union City, then I'm most likely going to go down to Addis, Louisiana, around New Orleans, and pick up a load going to Lawton. So you might be wondering, why Didn't I tell the TSD rep, Caitlin, that I was stopping the contract? Why did I tell the Landstar agent? Well, as much as Tony has annoyed me, I don't want to do anything to jeopardize an account. And who I'm dealing with is Tony. Tony is my primary point of contact on this load. Caitlin just helps dispatch me. If I would have told Caitlin that I was going to stop the contract, then Caitlin would have most likely asked if there was a problem or like, why am I stopping the contract? You know, stuff like that. I don't want to have that conversation with Caitlin. So I just told Tony, and then Tony deals with these people all the time. He knows how to convey to them that like a truck is going to stop the contract. He can tell them whatever in the hell he needs to tell them or wants to tell them. You know, he's the one that's going to be maintaining this contract long term. I'm just here for a little brief moment, and I don't want to do anything to compromise the contract, because even though it's a mediocre dedicated run, maybe I'll want to come back and do it sometime. I don't think I'm ever going to want to do this dedicated run again, because of the max weight loads and all of the carbon black. Like, it just gets everywhere in your truck, and it's impossible to get out. Like, I'm going to have carbon black in my truck the rest of the time I own it. It's gotten into the carpet, why do people put carpet in a work truck? Like, that's crazy. I have thought about ripping the carpet up since like day one of purchasing the truck. I've had a plan of ripping the carpet up, and I've tried to figure out how difficult it would be to rip the carpet up. And basically I would have to remove like the built-in refrigerator and a bunch of cabinets and stuff like that. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. It would be probably like an all-day thing, maybe a couple of days, depending on how slow I was. And I would be really slow. It would probably take me several days. But what kind of psycho puts carpet in a work truck like this? So anyway, yeah, I don't think I'm going to come back, but I don't want to do anything negative with the account. I want TSD to be really happy with Landstar. And if I never run the account again, then so be it. But I don't want to ruin it for the Landstar agent or TSD or any of the other drivers that might be running this account in the future. I want them to have a really positive experience with Landstar, so that it's good for everybody if we have good contracts at Landstar. It's good for everybody at Landstar, the agents, the drivers, Landstar. It's good for everybody involved if we have good contracts, especially dedicated runs. I know that a lot of people just really, really love dedicated runs. There's a lot of braking happening. Just a second here. Let's turn the cruise off and slow down a little bit. The four-wheelers are all hitting their brakes coming around this turn. Oh, it's another damn toll plaza. 35 mile per hour toll plaza. You have to slow down to 5 miles per hour to go through the damn plaza. They haven't gotten rid of their like cash toll booths yet. Easy pass paid. Yay. Yay. That's one of the reasons that I want to quit this contract. The tolls. They don't reimburse for tolls. They don't give detention or layover or anything. All I get on this contract is mileage pay. sitting around waiting a day or two for an empty or to unload, I get zero compensation for that. Just out here burning up tons of fuel idle in the truck. So anyway, yeah, Caitlin has not told me that she even knows that I'm stopping the contract yet. I'm sure she'll mention it at some point in the future, probably whenever I get my next load. If it happens to be wherever the load's going, she'll probably make a comment about getting me home. She'll probably say, you can go ahead and go home after the Lawton load if I get Lawton, or if I get the Union Tennessee load, she'll probably make some comment about she'll work on getting me a load to the house after the Union Tennessee load, something like that. You know what's really weird is that every single one of these plants that I get to, they're just overloaded with carbon black. Like there's just tons of loaded trailers and they have no empties. Like everywhere I go is like that. And I've even, delivered to some places that have made comments about, like, I don't know why they're ordering so much of this carbon black. I've had people like at the Bridgestone in Trenton that I just delivered to. He told me that he's never seen so many carbon black orders in a single week. So to find out that one of these tire plants ran completely out of carbon black, it's like, wow, that's crazy. It's hard to believe because last time I was at Cooper, they didn't have any empties. They had a ton of loaded carbon black trailers and no empties. Well, they had some volume empties. Volume, I see a lot more volume trailers than TSD trailers at every one of these tire places that I go to. Volume seems to be moving a lot more carbon black than TSD. But yeah, last time I was there, just a few days ago, they had tons of loaded trailers because they keep the loaded carbon black trailers separate from the empties. And I had trouble finding a place to put my loaded trailer because there were so many loaded trailers. So it's just crazy that they could run out that quick. Warning, curves ahead next 2.5 miles, 55 miles per hour. Pepsi broke down. U.S. Army Major Jerome Lee Workman Memorial Bridge. Going over Skitter Creek. $85 miles to go to get there. 55-mile-per-hour turn in 3/4 of a mile. This is what it's been like all damn day. Well, aside from driving through cities at the very beginning of the drive shift, basically as soon as I got north of Charlotte, it's been like this. But yeah, it's been hills, up and down hills all day today. Mountains north of Charlotte. We're driving on the damn shoulder right now because of construction. Yay, we're coming off the shoulder. Need to check and see if the battery's still charging. Looks like it is. It's at like 30%. All right, let's get back to talking. Sorry, we're going through twisties and up and down mountains, and it's really pretty scenery. I don't think you can see all the way up to where I can see at the top of the mountain. "79 miles till I get to Ravenwood." I hope there's somebody there when I get there, and I can ask them, like, where in the hell do I go? It shouldn't take them very long to load a trailer. So my load should already be ready. I don't know what in the world, like why they don't know where my load's going. The only thing I can think, and I'm not really sure exactly how these carbon black loads work, the only thing I can think is that whenever they load these trailers, they test them to see like what kind of carbon black is loaded. And maybe if it's one kind of carbon black, it goes to Lawton, Oklahoma. And if it's another kind, it goes to Union City, Tennessee. I'm really hoping I get Lawton, Oklahoma. Lots of race-related vehicles on the road. There's some kind of racetrack around here. Some really big racetrack. I've seen a lot of trucks and four-wheelers that have like race stuff on them. Next rest area is 52 miles. That is where I will stop if I can't make it to Ravenswood. 52 miles, we're at mile marker 71, 71 plus 51. It's going to be 122, right? Sorry, I'm watching all this traffic. We have construction we're coming up on. And that northbound back, or not northbound, I'm northbound, that southbound backup is really, really bad. I hope I'm not coming this far south on 77. All right, we're about to get a climbing lane. Finally going to get around this truck. They're going slow enough that they're right in front of me, but not slow enough that I'm getting out and passing them. They were bouncing between like 57 and 60, and the speed limit is 60, and I'm not wanting to get out here doing like 65, 70, passing somebody in a 60. Ooh, that fucker is moving slow. There's somebody coming up on me going really fast. I'm doing 52 up this hill. Hopefully there's no more really fast trucks, because I don't want to be getting back over in that right lane behind people that are doing 25 miles an hour. I'm doing 54. Hill, 5% grade, next 2 miles. That's not much of a hill. All right, right lane ends. I was wondering, like, why are you moving over? I don't see any signs about the right lane ending. They were a little premature about getting over, but I appreciate your enthusiasm. I do the same thing, because you don't want to put too much trust in other people letting you over. They'll run you into the shoulder. %5 downgrade next half a mile. 5% grade isn't really much at all. So that's what's going on now. I'm just sitting around waiting on a load, and it is 5:24 p.m. Eastern, so it's 4:24 Central, which means Caitlin's about to go home. She's got about 30 minutes left. Now, right when I get close to you, then move over and cut me off. So she's probably going to give me an update before her shift ends. So within the next 30 minutes, I'm expecting to get some kind of update on this load. I hope it's not another situation where I'm going to be sitting and waiting a day. They might not have a trailer to load, or, you know, a lot of these places, they only work like 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the loading. So they're probably not even going to load the trailer until tomorrow, and they probably don't even have an empty to load. So I'm probably going to get here and have to stay overnight and wait until tomorrow to get loaded. And then I'm probably going to have to deal with getting live loaded. So I have to sit there moving the trailer back and forth for 3 hours. All right, I want to get around this person, but their speed is very erratic. Sometimes they're going fast, and other times they're going really slow. Great. There's a long line of trucks up ahead. Two miles until the toll plaza, and every toll plaza so far in West Virginia has been a 35 mile per hour old school cash toll plaza that hasn't been converted to cashless yet. So I'm expecting that in 2 miles we're going to be coming to a stop to drive 5 miles per hour through a toll plaza. $4.50 for cars. Can you imagine how much it's costing me to drive on this fucking road in a truck if they're charging $4.50 for a car? It's probably costing me $100+ to drive on this damn road. All right, let's get into the reasons I decided to end the contract. One is because of shit like this. These tolls that I'm not being reimbursed for, they don't reimburse for anything on this contract. I don't get reimbursed for tolls. I don't get detention. I don't get layover. Nothing. Great. This truck is using this opportunity to try to pass me on the right. The truck that was behind me. So now all the four-wheelers are jammed in. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get over. I've got enough room. All the four-wheelers are jammed in behind me. I don't want to be out there blocking the four-wheelers in. Oh, this is an actual 55 turn. Every turn up to this point that they've had listed as 55 was not a 55 turn. This one is a legit 55 turn. It's really fucked up when states do this shit because, you know, they mark a turn as like a 55 turn. You're like, I could take this turn at 80. And then you come up to another turn that's marked at 55 and you're like, I don't trust it. I'm going to go through there at 65. You get halfway through the turn, you're like, fuck, this is a 45 turn. All right, I'm just kind of stuck in this trucker conga line because there is a line of four-wheelers in the left lane, and I don't want to get out to pass and block the four-wheelers. Also, I don't know how long this damn conga line goes. There's just a long line of trucks in front of me. All right, so let's go through the reasons on the dedicated. The reimbursement, lack of detention pay, layover pay, all that stuff. They have me driving over here on the eastern half of the country. I can't stand driving in the eastern half of the country. I especially cannot stand driving in the northeast, which is where I'm at right now. I'm burnt out on working 90-hour weeks. I don't mind working 90-hour weeks for, a couple weeks. But to just do it for like several weeks in a row, months, like 2 months of 90-hour weeks, that shit gets old quick. I would not get into trucking. Like, that's a lot of truck drivers' life. Like, that's all they do. Their entire trucking career is like 90-hour weeks. I would not be in trucking if that was my trucking life. So, little burnout on that. I'm also due for home time. I'm overdue for home time. Luckily, though, I was able to get by the house and do laundry. I didn't get to do like home time, but I did go to the house and I slept at the house and I was there long enough to do laundry. But because I was taking an Uber back and forth, I didn't get to like restock the truck and do everything that I need to do. But I was able to buy some groceries. I stopped at a grocery store a week or two ago, and I was able to replenish some groceries. But I am overdue for some home time. It's a pretty little town over to the right. Up here in the mountains, and there's some lake or river that the town is built around. Can't really see it very well. There's too many trees alongside the interstate, which is probably really nice for the town. Blocks the view of the interstate and probably blocks a lot of the noise. What else? Well, this is a mediocre paying load. If it were paying this amount with normal fuel prices, this would be a good load. Oh, buddy. Buck, that truck right there that I'm passing at the moment just almost caused an accident. The truck in front of them started to slow down to exit, and they just decided they were going to get out in the left lane. Fuck everybody. And they almost hit that pickup that was passing them, trying to get out. Like, some of these people just, you know, you do have the option of hitting your brakes. You do not have to, like, lane change. Hitting your brakes is an option. And for a lot of people, like, they don't see that as an option. You know, them slowing down, them being negatively affected, no, fuck everybody else. Let's cause an accident, cutting people off, get out in the left lane. U.S. Army Sergeant Richard E. Arden, Memorial Bridge. Captain Larry F. Lucas, Memorial Bridge. Doesn't say if they were in the military or police or what. I'm guessing that it's police captain. Since the military people, they're calling out their branch. All right, so yeah, the load is mediocre. But when you factor in that you're hauling max weight and you're getting really low fuel mileage because you're hauling a lot of max weight loads, and with how expensive fuel is right now, fuel is a much larger percentage of your expenses than normal. So it's fuel mileage is having a bigger impact than normal right now. So once you factor that in, this is actually a below average load. This is actually kind of a shitty load, because this load is paying the equivalent of about a $2 a mile load gross to the truck. We got somebody on the shoulder. All right, I don't have anybody alongside me. We'll move over. People behind me did not move over. But, so it's paying about $2 a mile in relation to, like, loads before the Iran war. It's paying $2.38 a mile gross to the truck right now, but that extra 38 cents a mile is basically fuel surcharge to try to help out with the higher fuel costs. So then when you also calculate in the loss of miles per gallon, it's costing me somewhere around like 25 cents a mile more to haul this load, because of it being a max weight load, and I'm running like 5 miles per gallon instead of my normal around 7 miles per gallon. Now these numbers are just off the top of my head. I would have to bust out my spreadsheet and use some math to get exact numbers. Are we going across that yellow bridge to the right? I think we are. That was not a marked speed on that turn that I saw. And I took it at 55 and felt like I was going too fast. That was like a 50-mile-per-hour turn. I didn't see any suggested speeds for that damn turn. I thought it might potentially be sharp because it looked like we were lining up for a bridge. So yeah, I would have to bust out a spreadsheet and do a whole bunch of math to create an equivalency of how much this load is paying gross to the truck per mile versus a normal load pre-Iran war. Like comparing it to a pre-Iran war load, what's the equivalent that this load is paying? And just off the top of my head, I think it's paying the equivalent of like $1.75 a mile. Which is not good. Every time I'm about to get out and pass this person, they speed up and they're driving on the damn shoulder. Like, I don't like that. Like, people driving on the shoulder in front of me are more likely to throw rocks at my windshield. All right, I'm going to go ahead and speed up and pass this person. Oh, fuck. They've got slow four-wheelers in front of them. I didn't know those four-wheelers were there. I would not have attempted to pass had I known they had slow four-wheelers in front of them. If nothing else, I'll get these four-wheelers off your nose, bro. They don't want to be passed by a truck. They're already speeding up. Just seeing me in the left lane has put fear in them. Oh my goodness, this is a nice little view. We have like some kind of state capitol building and a Ferris wheel and all kinds of stuff. And this four-wheeler is slowing down. You
In
exiting?
2 miles, use the right 2 lanes to take the I-77 north exit toward I-79 Parkersburg.
Fucking shit, that's loud. Alright, in 2 miles, we're hitting the 64 junction. Or the split, I think. And the left is 64, right is 77.
In half a mile, use the right 2 lanes to take the I-77 north exit toward I-79 Parkersburg. Use the right 2 lanes to take the I-77 north exit.
Son of a bitch. Stupid fucking signs, man. The sign said that the left lane ends in a quarter of a mile or half a mile or something like that. And then it said that the right lane went exit only. And you only had those 2 fucking lanes. So I moved over to the right lane when I saw the left lane in signs, and then the right lane showed exit only, and then like fucking figure it out. All right, in half a mile, I need to be in the left 2 lanes to be able to get onto 77. Google doesn't say anything about this junction. Absolutely nothing from Google on this. If I didn't know which interstate I was supposed to be on, then I wouldn't know where to go at that split. All right, can I make it there? 45 miles, and I have 52 minutes. It's going to be close. It's going to be cutting it real close. I don't want to have to stop and take a 30-minute break before I get there. Korean War Veterans Memorial Highway. All right, we got a really slow truck in the right lane. It's a windy road, but I don't see anybody behind me. I can't see very far. So some four-wheeler could come out of nowhere and get alongside me at any second. Voyager out of Lakeland, Florida. Voyager Nation Incorporated. I don't know. They have a bunch of weird characters. Weird font. I'm not 100% sure it says Voyager. Well, traffic has finally died down a little bit. Be prepared to stop. You should always be prepared to stop when driving. Road work 3 miles ahead, possible delays. I am hungry. I was going to grab the little $8 chicken tender potato wedge meal this morning. They told me at that pilot that they have that food out at about 10 a.m. But I was there at 10. I sat around for 10 minutes and they never brought it out. And I went over and I asked them, like, when do you expect the chicken tenders to come out? And they said, oh, it's going to be at least 30 minutes. Like, all right, damn it. So, did not eat today. And yesterday, I think the only thing I had was a bowl of chili. Some of that a can of that chili, the generic brand chili that I got from that grocery store in Texarkana, across from Cooper Tire. It's not bad. It's mediocre. It's like not very good chili, but I chop up some onions and put in there, and then crackers, and that makes it taste decent. Be prepared to stop. Warning after warning after warning. If you rear end somebody after all this signage, it's going to be a hard case to argue. 1 mile. Tuppers Creek Road in 1 mile. All right, what are some other reasons I decided to end this contract? Well, I'm not making very much per mile, and I'm putting a ton of miles on the truck. I don't know how many miles I put on the truck on this contract. It's been like 30 or 40,000 miles. Maybe not that much. Probably being right around 30. Right around 30,000 miles, if I had to guess. Because I've been on the contract for... I started on May 14th. So it's been like approximately 6 weeks. And I've been doing, I don't know what my average miles per week are. It's probably 3,000 miles per week average. That's only 18,000 miles. I know I put more than that on the truck. Somewhere between 20 and 30,000 miles on the truck. So yeah, lots of miles at a not very good rate per mile. Just putting a lot of wear and tear on the truck. And then that's a unmarked car, unmarked cop car right there that just passed me. Or somebody trying really hard to look like a cop. And there's another pickup that has track race on it, something to do with racing. I've seen a lot of pickups and a lot of trucks, just a lot of vehicles in general that are racetrack related stuff. There must be a really popular racetrack around here somewhere. So yeah, putting a lot of wear and tear on the truck, and then the heavy weight, the heavy loads are also putting a lot of extra wear and tear on the truck. I've had almost no breakdowns on the truck, almost no major repairs on the truck the entire time I've owned it. And then in the 6 weeks or so that I've been running this dedicated, I've spent more repairing the truck. I've had more major repairs on this truck in the 6 weeks that I've had that I've been on this dedicated than the entire time I've owned the truck over the last 6 years. And that's mainly because of the heavy weight. Puts a lot more strain on the truck. If you have any issues, those issues are going to be more likely to be exposed if you are putting the truck closer to its limits. So just what I normally do, driving around in cold weather areas so the truck isn't running as hot, that puts less strain on the truck. Hauling lighter weights puts less strain on the truck. Driving 65 max puts less strain on the truck. I've been driving 70 throughout most of this contract, hauling max weights in 100-degree temperatures. That puts a lot more stress on the truck. I've talked with mechanics about it. You know, in the winter, you roll into the shop, the shop's empty, and I'm like, man, why is it so slow? And they're like, it's always like this in the winter. I'm like, why? And they say it's because the trucks don't break down as much in the winter because they're not running as hot. Lower pressure, lower temperatures, less breakdowns. So what are some other reasons I need to get work done on the truck and I haven't been able to get it scheduled while I've been out over the road? Finding a place that can do an alignment has not been easy. Most shops don't do alignments, and I haven't found any shops that do alignments. Well, I have found one, but it wasn't at the location I thought I was calling. So it's really hard to find a shop that does alignments, and then of the shops that do alignments, most of them cannot adjust caster. They don't have the tools to adjust caster. So trying to find a shop that can do an alignment and adjust caster that's open at the time that I'm going to be driving through that area it's proven very difficult. I've tried, I've done a lot of research, I've made a lot of phone calls, and I just haven't been able to find a place to do it. So I kind of just want to get home. I know where I can get it done in Oklahoma City. Because I got a bunch of stuff that I need to get done on the truck, and then I also need to get a DOT inspection done by July 12th. And I'm hesitant to get DOT inspections done at places I'm not familiar because some of these, well, not some, most mechanics are really shady, especially commission-based mechanics and especially Landstar certified inspectors, because they know Landstar policy. It's part of their inspection certification, is that they know if they fail somebody on something that you cannot drive the vehicle. Like, if they don't want to get it fixed there, then Landstar basically requires you to get your vehicle towed somewhere else. They will not let you move the vehicle under their carrier authority after you fail a DOT inspection until it passes a DOT inspection. Now, normally, failing a DOT inspection isn't that big of a deal. Like, you can just drive over somewhere else and get a DOT inspection done somewhere else if you get some shady mechanic that wants to try to tell you some shit needs to be replaced and it doesn't. And you run into those mechanics all the time. Some of them don't know what they're talking about. Some of them are just, trying to make extra money, trying to get you to do unnecessary work. So I need to get to the house anyway to get a DOT inspection done. I don't need to, but I prefer to get it done in Oklahoma City. What else? What are some other things? I'm tired of being dispatched like a company driver. I'm tired of not knowing, I don't mind being dispatched like a company driver whenever they're giving me pre-dispatches. They're giving me a dispatch of what my next load's going to be before I even finish this load. I don't mind that. It's sitting around waiting, not knowing what's happening, when it's going to happen. You're just in this ready state waiting for them to tell you what to do, like all day long. That I cannot stand. Like, as a company driver, you deliver a load, you don't have your next load on you, you're just sitting and waiting for them to give you another load. And you have no idea when that's going to happen. So you can't really do anything. You can't get, you don't know if it's going to be 10 minutes or 24 hours. So you can't get involved in anything that's going to take very long. And you can't go, maybe you can go take a shower. Who knows? Maybe they, give you a load that has to pick up in an hour. So when you're in a ready state waiting on a dispatcher, the way they perceive it is that you're in the sleeper. Anytime you're not driving, they in their mind, you're in the sleeper. But when you're sitting there in a ready state, you have no idea what's going on. What do you do? Well, I can't go and take a shower. I can't go and do anything that I can't end within 10 minutes. I can't get involved in anything that I can't step away from within 10 minutes because they might give me a load that has to pick up really quick. So yeah, the being dispatched like an employee has gotten on my nerves. Mainly over the last, there were a few instances in the first month, but mainly it's just been these last couple of weeks. There's been a tremendous amount of sitting around waiting on shit the last couple of weeks. And I've been in a ready state several times, just waiting for them to tell me what to do. So I haven't made very much money over the last couple of weeks because of all the sitting around waiting. That's another reason I'm getting kind of tired of the contract, is that if I'm not running 3,500 miles a week, I'm making pretty shit money. If you just think about it, most drivers are running 2,000 to 2,500 miles a week. If I'm running 2,000 miles a week, I'm at $238 a mile. I'm making 4,000. 720. Yeah, I think it's $4,720 gross to the truck. And that may sound decent, but with the high fuel prices, and I'm only getting 5 miles per gallon, so that'd be on 2,000 miles at 5 miles per gallon, that's 400 gallons of fuel, and I'm spending on average around $4 a gallon. That's $1,600 a week in fuel. That's crazy. $1,600 a week in fuel? So out of that 4720 1600, that's taking us down to what, 3120? Just a second here. It's way too close, four-wheeler. So yeah, I think that's $3,120 after just fuel cost in a week. It's not terrible, but it's not amazing either. I just have really, really high fuel costs running these loads. All right, 21 miles to go and 29 minutes of drive time. It's going to be cutting it real close. Whenever I get there, I'm going to have to find a place to park and just sit there for 30 minutes. I don't have time to drive around and figure out what's going on. So I'll just have to park the truck and walk around and try to figure out what's going on. Well, apparently this lane is too rough. People are getting over in the left lane. I still have not gotten a text message from Caitlin telling me what damn load I'm going to be getting. And I have a bad feeling that I'm going to be sitting here overnight waiting until tomorrow to get loaded. And the thing that sucks is I'm going to be hesitant to pick any load up without them telling me like what load I'm supposed to pick up. I hope that we are on the west side of the Appalachians. Whenever I come back down south out of here, whenever I start heading west, I hope it doesn't take me very long to get down out of these damn mountains. "15 miles to go. We're getting there." Yeah, I'm not sure if I already mentioned it because I said all this stuff in the previous video that got corrupted, so I apologize. I apologize if I repeat myself because I can't remember what I've said since I restarted the video. 16 miles to Ravenswood. Ravenswood. It sounds like something out of a Tolkien novel. If no injury, move vehicles from roadway. Yeah, aside from getting a little frustrated at being, sitting around and being dispatched like a company driver and all that stuff, not having any control over where I go, I'm getting really tired of running over here in the east half of the country, especially up here in the northeast. This is the first time they've sent me up into the northeast. It's not the deep northeast. It's not, I consider Pennsylvania and further northeast of that to be the deep northeast. Those are places I would absolutely refuse to go. If they gave me a load going to, like, up into Pennsylvania or further northeast than that, I would tell them no. This right here was really pushing my limits. And I probably would have normally told them no, except this is one of the locations that the Landstar agent mentioned whenever I initially discussed this contract. This is one of the locations he mentioned that I would go, would be West Virginia. So I had to be okay with that to even, like, I had already made that decision that I was okay with West Virginia. Well, it depends what part of West Virginia. But in general, I was okay with West Virginia. I made that decision before I even agreed to do the contract. But yeah, I'm tired of running out here. Oh, there's a state trooper behind me. Just exited right there. Now the cars behind me are passing. "19 minutes. Don't let me forget to switch off of the sleeper." I've got the alerts turned basically down to where I can barely hear them on the ELD because it sends so many alerts. It starts warning you when you've still got an hour left on your clock, which is pretty much every single drive shift. I drive down to where I have less than an hour on one of my clocks. And this damn thing, like, if you get within an hour of your drive time, it alerts you. 30 minutes, it alerts you. I wish I could go in and modify when it alerts. If it only alerted me when I was within like 10 minutes, then I would have the alerts turned up really high. Like a 10-minute alert and then a 1-minute alert. Or maybe a 2-minute alert. Because at 1 minute, you don't really have enough time to do anything. So a 10-minute and a 2-minute. Those are the only two alerts I'd have on it. 7.7 miles, 5 miles until my exit. I can't remember what exactly the roads were to get to this place, but I remember it was really easy to get to. At least to get to the main road to enter the place. Right lane closed 1,500 feet. That's right around this turn. They have a whole bunch of the signs covered up, and all the other signs are like turned. So I'm doubting that the lane's closed, and it looks like it's not. So it looks like they've removed most of the markers for this lane closure, but they forgot to, like that right lane closed sign was partially turned to the side. You could barely read the thing. It looked like somebody tried to turn it on its side. So I had doubt that the lane actually was closed. Oh, this traffic is awesome. Too bad it only lasts for like 50 miles down to I-64. Road work ahead next 3 miles. Even with all these patches and everything, the road is kind of smooth. The bridge connections were pretty smooth.
In 2 miles, take exit 146 for US 33 West, West Virginia 2 South, with Silverton, Ravenswood.
All right, 1.5 miles until my exit. Is it this 146? It is this 146. I think I'm going to go left and then make a right. Yeah, since I haven't heard anything, I'm assuming that they're not going to load this until tomorrow, so I don't think I'm driving anywhere.
In half a mile, take exit 146 for US 33 West, West Virginia 2 South, with Silverton, Ravenswood. Take exit 146. At the next stop sign, turn left. At the stop sign, turn left onto US 33 West.
I don't see a height on this damn bridge. I don't see anybody coming. Silverton, unincorporated. River City Perk. "11 minutes left, and I'm a mile and a half away." That's just the entrance. Notice. Signals next to intersections. All right, we got a green light.
In half a mile, turn right onto Washington Street.
All right, we got a red light.
At the light, turn right onto Washington Street.
And I think I'm taking like an immediate right.
600 feet, turn right onto Hartley Drive, Old WB2. Turn right onto Hartley Drive, Old WB2, then you will arrive at your destination.
Alright. Hartley Drive right here. Industrial Park.
You have arrived.
State property, no trespassing. You can't stop me, Cup-a-Tup. Damn. I didn't realize there were so many residentials up and down this street. I thought this was just like the entry into their property. Receiving is that way. Attention drivers, for Hartley Oil shipping and receiving, call that number. So I'm going to pull over here to the side and get off the drive line and call that phone number. All right, nobody's answering. I'm gonna go walk around, see if I can find somebody. I'll pause this. It is. I'm gonna do my 30-minute break anyway. It's 5:37 Central Time, so 6:37 local time. Be back in a minute. All right, I'm 9 minutes into my 30-minute break. I am gonna do the 5 mile per hour creep and try not to activate my clock. Son of a bitch started me out in first gear, and it won't let me upshift because I'm at too low of RPM. So the only way to upshift is to come to a complete stop. We got a decent drive to go. It's probably going to take me 30 minutes to get there at this speed. It's not that far. So, he told me where the trailers are at. He said he doesn't really know what the after hours process is. And he told me that the building right here would be locked up, but the door's open. And it is hot out here. He was talking about how hot it is. He was. They don't have any kind of air conditioning or anything in these buildings. He was like, man, it's cooler outside than it is in these damn buildings. So he came outside to talk with me. I should have just restarted my 30-minute break because it's going to take me probably a half hour to figure out what in the hell is going on here. But yeah, he showed me where the place was at. He said he didn't really know about any after hours stuff. I told him what was going on, where, I had a load, but they took it off of me because they put a team on it because they needed it fast. And I said, I'm not even sure if my load's ready. I said, if my load's not here, if I have to wait till tomorrow, if it's okay for me to park on the property? And he was like, it's okay with me. And he said, yeah, you can go ahead and park. Stay the night. He said, and if anybody asks, tell him Zach. Tell him Zach told you could. And then as I started walking away, I said, all right, I appreciate it, Zach. Thanks, man. And as I started walking away, he said, hey, anybody bothers you, you told him you talk with Zach. I was like, all right, I appreciate it. All right, let's pull forward and straighten this out. I'm not real comfortable continuing to back. I'm afraid that I might be a little bit close to that trailer on my right side. So it's either we pull forward or we get out and look. And we'll just pull forward for now. And let me try to get lined up into the spot so I can see down both sides. It's almost a straight back. Yeah, we're good. We're good. I can see down, kind of down both sides. We're not lined up straight in, but I have tire tracks to follow at least. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good. And this has an air landing gear, so I don't have to, the trailers are parked tight together, but I don't have to crank you between the trailers. All right, so we're still sleeper berth, and I would take the phone out, walk you around with me, but it's really hot out there, and I'm probably gonna have to do a lot of walking, and I want to get this shit figured out. So anyway, I'm gonna pause this. It is 6:51. I'll be back in who knows how long. All right, well, I don't have to worry about my 30-minute break anymore. Looks like I'm camping for the night. They have like 5 volume loads that are ready, but they only have one single TSD load, and it's the Texarkana load. So I texted Caitlin, and this is what I said. I have pretty good cell signal, so at least I can watch YouTube videos, and I'll be able to upload this video. So I said, it looks like they did not get my trailer loaded. I only see 2 loaded trailers in their mailbox. One of them is a volume, and the other one looks like the Texarkana load. Zach told me I can park here overnight, so I'll wait till tomorrow. 10-4, thank you. And then I sent a picture of the bill of lading that's sitting in there for Texarkana. And she said, how many hours do you have left to drive? And I said 3, and she said 10-4. And I just checked the mileage from here to Goodyear, Cooper, and Texarkana is 900 miles. So even with 3 hours, that would still leave me with 720 miles to drive. So I would have to do 2 10-hour breaks to make it there. So yeah, I wouldn't be able to deliver this load for a while. If I had enough time left on my clock that they thought I could get it there with a single 10-hour break, they might have told me to just go ahead and pick up the Texarkana load. but I need like 16 hours of drive time to do 900 miles. Let's see. Let's use a calculator. 900 divided by 60 equals 15. 15 hours of drive time. That's just driving. That doesn't include all of your pre-trips, post-trips, 30-minute breaks, and all that stuff. So that could easily be like 16 or 17 hours of clock time. But I guess I'll watch the USA World Cup match, and I'm going to have to try to find a replay of it that doesn't show the damn score. I was looking at watching their last game, and it just ruined. I didn't even bother watching it because when I was trying to look for a replay, it showed me the score, and I was like, well, I'm not watching it now. I've seen the damn outcome. I'm not watching it. So I'm going to try to find a replay of it, and then, I got to figure out what I'm going to eat. What the hell am I going to eat? What do I feel like? I got tons of food in here. I haven't eaten chicken nuggets in a long time. So I can eat chicken nuggets. I hate those damn burritos that I brought. I'm not buying any more of the Great Value burritos. They're disgusting. I tried the bean and beef and bean or whatever, the meat ones, and those were absolutely disgusting. I threw them away. I ate like 2 of them and threw them away. I couldn't stand to eat any more of them. They had this weird chemical aftertaste. Like, it was really, really disgusting. So then I tried the Great Value bean and cheese. I'm like, well, how can you go wrong with bean and cheese? They probably just went really, really cheap on some nasty meat on those other burritos, trying to keep the price down. But the bean and cheese burritos also, they don't have like a nasty taste to them. They just don't taste very good. So I might do some corn dogs because I'm going to be going home pretty soon. What I try to do is I try not to eat all of one particular thing that I bring, because if I get like a craving for something, I want to have it. So now I'm not worried about eating all of something. I don't have many corn dogs left, so I've been just like keeping the corn dogs in reserve in case I got, the urge to eat a corn dog. But now I'm not worried about eating all the corn dogs. So I might throw some chicken nuggets and corn dogs in the oven. Yeah, man, might live it up. Get crazy in here. I've only got a half a gallon of milk left, but lots of tropical punch. And I might not get home for, let me see if I get the Lawton load. How far is Lawton, Oklahoma? I tried to zoom in on Lawton and it zoomed me in on Wichita Falls. That would be 1,100 miles. 1,119 miles. Oh, and that's with it having me take like some shortcut. It's going to be a lot longer than that. Let's get rid of this shortcut. $11.43. Let's see if there's any more shortcuts. Nope, that looks like it. 11:43. So we'll say 1,200 miles. That's basically 2 full drive shifts. So if I get the Lawton load and it's ready by, let's say, noon tomorrow, noon to midnight would be 1 drive shift. Wait, tomorrow's Tuesday. So, yeah, that'd be Tuesday at midnight. And then start driving again at 10 a.m. So I can make it to Lawton by about 10 p.m. on Wednesday night. And I would have to shave off time to give me extra time to drive 90 miles. I would need an extra 2 hours of drive time. So I would have to drive like 650 miles in my first drive shift. And then I would have to try to make up some time in my second drive shift. So I would probably end up driving 70 the whole way there to shave time, so that I wouldn't have to take a 10-hour break in Lawton, 90 miles away from my house. Let me make sure there's not going to be an issue. Getting to my fuel stop. I can go check for the trailer. Period. I only saw the paperwork. Period. I'll check right now. Caitlin asked me if I saw the trailer or just the paperwork. So I'll be back in a minute. I told her I'm gonna go check for the trailer. All right, so they had me go around and check and make sure that the team actually picked up that load. So I went out to check and see if that trailer was here. That trailer is not here. And I went back over and looked at the paperwork, and the paperwork in the mailbox is just the signed copy of the bill of lading. It's not like all of the bill of lading. So the team's already picked that load up. But I'm all sweaty now going around and checking mailboxes and looking around for trailers and stuff. All right, so I just got an email from T-Mobile telling me that my internet's changing. They're increasing the price by $6 a month and changing the name of it. And there's a learn more button. Let's see what learn more says. All right, so let's see what the differences are in the new changes to T-Mobile. So unlimited data is supposedly unchanged, but there's a notation on unlimited data. Let's scroll down and see what it is. What's the new plan called? The new plan is called Home Internet Advanced, and then there was Home Internet Unlimited. So customers may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using greater than 50 gigabytes per month due to data prioritization. Video typically streams on smartphone, tablet in SD quality. Experience more or experience beyond plan activate up to 4K ultra high definition streaming on capable device, or video typically streams in SD. Experience beyond qualifying new financed device and on experience beyond plan required. Upgrade qualifying device 6 months 50% off. So basically they're saying after 50 gigs they can throttle me if they want. I think the original plan was unthrottled. No data limits at all. It was called the unlimited plan. You had unlimited everything. So I'm not sure if that has changed. They're hiding what the original one was. So they're basically trying to make it out like this is all just an upgrade. Whole bunch of new features. So unlimited data, 5G Wi-Fi gateway included. Nothing changed with that. Internet upgrade feature. They're saying in the old plan the feature did not exist. And in the new plan, complimentary gateway upgrade after 3 years. So I can upgrade my little mobile gateway, the device that they send you to hook up to their internet. You get a free upgrade after 3 years. 24/7 interactive video support for your connected devices. Not a feature of the old plan, is a feature of the new plan. Who the fuck wants to do video tech support with T-Mobile? High-speed internet. Feature not included in the old plan. Fast speeds are included. And it gives no details on this. It just says fast speeds. The old plan was slow. The new plan's fast. Built-in cybersecurity. I don't want that stupid shit. Price lock. 5-year price guarantee on the new plan. So basically they're just jacking the price up by $6 and doing a whole bunch of sales and marketing speak to try to justify the rate increase. It's like you're getting nothing, but they're making it sound like you're getting a whole bunch of stuff. They're using a whole bunch of they're doing some Kamala Harris word salad and trying to confuse you. I've been avoiding upgrading. I'm still using the original T-Mobile hotspot device or the Wi-Fi device. Because I'm afraid if I upgrade to a new device, it'll start using that GPS lock shit. Because supposedly, you're not supposed to use T-Mobile outside. It's geo-fenced. So you're not supposed to use it outside your home address. So I have T-Mobile and at my house, and I use it in the truck. I've never used it at home. I just use it in the truck for the T-Mobile home internet. Like, I don't know why anybody would use T-Mobile home internet at their house, because you can get gigabit fiber for like $25 a month. Like, why would you pay $50 a month for T-Mobile shitty cellular internet? I mean, it's really bad internet. It has high latency, it's low speeds, it's very inconsistent. So I don't know why anyone would use it at home unless you just didn't have any decent options in your area. But I have tons of options in my area. There's no way I would use T-Mobile for my home internet. I have AT&T. I have AT&T fiber at my house. There's some other company begging me to switch to them. They put shit in my mailbox every month, and they're offering like $25 a month for gigabit. Right now I'm paying AT&T like $80 a month for gigabit internet, and I'm about to switch. I'm getting a little pissed off with AT&T because they keep raising the price. It initially started out at like $60 a month, and then it went up to like $70, and then it went up to like $80. I honestly don't know how much I'm paying right now. It just keeps going up. But T-Mobile keeps threatening to geofence, but I think they would lose too much business if they did that. Because I think most of the people who use T-Mobile home internet are using it like to move around. Because it just doesn't, like 10, 20 years ago, yeah, it would make sense because there weren't many options for high-speed internet. But these days, man, there's just so much competition in high-speed internet that like they're jacking up like I have 5 or 10 gigabit available, and I have no reason to go beyond 1 gigabit because all of my network infrastructure in my house is limited to 1 gigabit. I would have to upgrade everything in my house to move to higher speeds, except the wiring. I intentionally used really good network wiring in my house that is capable of up to like 10 gigabit. I'm not sure how high. It's full copper. It's like really nice, expensive copper network wiring. I did the network wiring in my house myself. So yeah, I would have to put a high speed network adapter. I would have to get new switches, a new router. Like, I have a lot of networking equipment at my house because I have a background in information technology, IT stuff. I have servers and switches and stuff like that. Like, my router at my house is not like your standard little Netgear router you get at Walmart. It's an Ubiquiti router. And the switches in my house are Power Connect switches. They're Dell Power Connect switches. You configure them through like command line interface. I think there is actually a GUI that you can configure some stuff on, but it's limited. And my Ubiquiti router is also, you need to understand networking to be able to set that thing up. I am quite familiar with networking, and it was confusing to me. So a normal person that doesn't have, a background as like an enterprise engineer would not be able to set it up. I mean, eventually maybe, with a lot of trial and error, they might be able to get it to kind of work, but they probably won't get it set up correctly. But yeah, replacing all of that data center level equipment would be pricey. But it's all limited to 1 gigabit. And I really haven't seen a need to go over 1 gigabit because I'm almost always limited by the source that I'm connecting to. Until, higher than 1 gigabit becomes normalized, there isn't really a need for me to go higher than 1 gigabit. I don't know. You know what? If I were still like working from home and I were still working in IT and stuff like that, I would probably go ahead and upgrade my internet. But being a truck driver away from the house most of the time, not worth it. But if I still worked in IT, I probably would go through the hassle of upgrading all of my stuff to like 10 gigabit. But I guess I'm gonna let's check the news real quick, see if there's anything worth talking about in the news. Oh shit, you know what? I am not gonna look at the news because they're gonna have the damn USA Cup info on the news. I'm glad that I thought about that. I was just about to pull up Fox News and I was about to pull up YouTube. And if I would have pulled up either one of those, then it probably would have told me the score of the game. So I'm going to have to be really careful about not looking at the damn score in any way. So I'm going to end this video and I'm going to go watch that game before somebody ruins it for me. And I hope USA wins. Team USA, I saw a video or read an article or something earlier yesterday or this morning. And it was somebody saying that Team USA has a chance to win the World Cup. That's true. I mean, theoretically, there's a chance for anything to happen. In an infinite universe, you have infinite possibilities. We don't really know if our universe is infinite, but we are mostly comprised of, like, our entire reality is mainly just nothing. So theoretically, I can walk through a wall. I mean, it's possible theoretically. Kind of like USA's chance of winning the World Cup. Like, I hope they do. I think their chances are very slim to win the World Cup. It's not like, American football where any team has a chance to win. It's such a competitive, the NFL is such a competitive league that even the worst team still has a chance of beating the best team. Football is not like American football in competitiveness. There's huge difference. There's massive gaps in the players on these teams. I really don't know what the teams are like this year, but how they are normally is that you have certain countries that are just loaded with the best players in the world. Brazil and Germany are typically two teams that year over year are just loaded with the best players in the world. Brazil and Germany almost every year have players on their bench that are better than any player on Team USA. Just imagine that. Imagine two NBA teams playing against each other, and one NBA team has, like, I don't know who a good NBA player is this year, but let's say that one of the teams has, I don't know, let me think of somebody like Russell Westbrook on the bench. Russell Westbrook is a bench player. I don't know if Russell Westbrook, I don't even know if he still plays in the NBA. I haven't watched the NBA in a while. But let's pretend that Russell Westbrook is in his prime. And they have Russell Westbrook on the bench, and they have Steph Curry as their starter. Imagine playing against that team that is that loaded, that's that stacked with the best players in the league. And your best player on your team is a player that wouldn't even be a starter on a regular NBA team. You only have like one or two players that would be bench players in the NBA. The rest of your team is comprised of D-League players. That's what Team USA is like in international soccer. They have like a couple of players on their team that are like NBA bench players, or they might be NBA starters, but they're not like the best player on the team. They only have a couple of players that are like of that caliber. And then the rest of their team is mainly comprised of what would be NBA D-Leaguers. And then you have Brazil and Germany out here that are just stacked with, like, it's an all-star team. And watching those amazing teams play versus watching the not so amazing teams play, it's like watching two different sports. Oh, there's a deer walking around straight ahead. Just walked by the railroad car, heading to the right. Just trotting along, just casually walking. So I hope Team USA wins. I'm cheering for them in every game. I just think it's like extremely unlikely that they win. But yeah, watching teams like Brazil and Germany play, it's like watching another sport. Like, they're doing really amazing things, like amazing passes. Their shots on goal are really good. And then you watch, these shitty teams, like, unfortunately, Team USA is one of the shitty teams. You watch them play, and it's just constant turnovers because of bad passes. And then when they take a shot on goal and it misses by like 50 feet, like they kick it up into the rafters. I mean, it's just, it's like watching a high school football game versus an NFL game. It's like two completely different fucking sports. Watching a really amazing team versus watching a really shitty team, which Team USA is mainly comprised of Major League Soccer players, MLS players, and MLS is a horrible, horrible football league. It is a really bad league. There are like second tier leagues in Europe that are better than MLS. MLS is just a joke in international football. You only play in the MLS if you're shit. Like, if you're a good player, you don't play in MLS. And almost all the players on Team USA typically play in the MLS. So, I don't have high hopes for Team USA making it very far. I'm just really glad we made it through the group stage, which Team USA typically does, because there's like 32 teams that go into the World Cup. I think there's about 32 teams that go in. And Team USA is usually somewhere around like the 15th best team in the world. That's where they usually rank, is somewhere in that area. So making it through the group stage is a big accomplishment for Team USA, to be in the top, 16 teams in the world. But making it to the top 8 teams, that's a big leap for Team USA. And then to make it into the top 4 teams, that's another massive leap for Team USA. And what I'm really surprised by is how quickly the knockout round starts. Like, they had huge gaps in between games through the group stage, one game a week. And then all of a sudden, like after the group stage is over, you're starting the knockout rounds like 2 days later. You're only giving them 2 days of rest. That's ass backwards to me. It should have been like 3 days in between games in the group stage. And then on the knockout rounds, they should have like a week in between games. I think the World Cup is poorly scheduled. Like, I can't believe that there was a weekend between games in the group stage. That's just, no. And now they're rushing through the knockout stages. That's terrible. Terrible. But anyway, I'm going to end this video, and I'm going to figure out what I'm going to eat, and I'm going to go watch the game while I eat. So, good night. Bye.